morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of Voice of Radio. So today, I've got, frankly, wonderful news. Pokemon VMAX have finally been revealed. It took a very long time, ladies and gentlemen. It took a very long time. But Pokemon VMAX have finally been revealed. And let's start with the biggest, baddest, and I'm hoping the bestest of them all. Snorlax VMAX. The biggest Pokemon we've ever had with 340 HP. That is ridiculous. Now, when you compare that to something like a Magikarp and Wailord that comes in at 300 HP, this has 40 more. Now, before we get into what it does and all of that, obviously the biggest question on pretty much all of our minds has been, what is a mechanic going to be for Pokemon VMAX? What is the downside? What do they do? How does it work? Well, here's the deal. It is just an evolution. You just evolve a Pokemon V into a Pokemon VMAX. So Snorlax V, more on him in a moment, evolves into Snorlax VMAX. It's just a regular evolution. We're not talking like level X's where you've got to be in the active in order to evolve. It is just a straightforward, run-of-the-mill evolution. Cool. And then they give up free prizes. Not unlike our tag teams, let's use Eevee and Snorlax as an example. These give up free prizes. So frankly, you've got to be, well, it's like with Tag Team GXs. You've got to be sure that you're dropping it at the right time. You've got to be sure that the bonuses that you get for playing it outweigh the risks of giving up free prizes. So what we have here is a free prize Pokemon, but an evolution. Now, all the ones we've been shown, and I will be bringing you a flurry of videos, seriously, over the next couple of days. There's going to be a lot of videos. Hopefully that's all right, because there's a lot of news to get through. All the ones we've seen so far have been basic. So we know that, for instance, Charizard has a Gigantamax form. As a side note, all the VMAX we've seen are Gigantamax, so, you know, read into that what you will. It is extremely likely that they're all going to be basic, just because otherwise they're going to be super awkward to get into play. But the fact of the matter is until we see something like Charizard VMAX, we're not going to be able to know. Actually, Charizard VMAX isn't what we want to see. Until we see Charizard V, we're not going to know if they're all basics. Otherwise, Charizard V is going to be like a stage 3, and it's going to be a little bit pointless. Hey-ho. So, Snorlax VMAX then, what does it do? Well, 340 HP is frankly, utterly, stupidly, ridiculously over the top. It is gigantic. It means something like the family Charizard that is being used in Mewtwo and Mewdex to do a huge amount of damage will be 40 damage short. It means that something like the Buzzwole that hits 120 for a single energy will be 100 damage short. It is, even hitting for weakness, going to be quite difficult to get a KO here. Now, the good news is my boy Regirock V will be able to come and get a KO because he hits 380, but come on. 340 HP is ridiculous. Now, as I just alluded to, you do have a weakness to fighting, which is the same weakness we see on stuff like Pikachu and Zekrom and Mega Lopunny and Jigglypuff. So there are, shall we say, strong incentives for people to start playing fighting Pokemon to try and take these out. And you do have the retreat cost of 4, which is high, but it actually gives advantages. I mean, come on. I cannot be the only one thinking bodybuilding dumbbells. Now, I only raise that, it doesn't work, but I raise it as a rule in query. Bodybuilding dumbbells goes on a stage 1 to give you an extra 40 HP. Snorlax VMAX might be the first stage of evolution, but it is not a stage 1 Pokemon, it is a VMAX Pokemon, so it won't work. We do, however, have Pokemaniac that can be used to search out Snorlax VMAX, and as a side note, Snorlax V, so that's pretty gosh darn fun. Though you are a colourless Pokemon, so you don't get any extra advantages, you're not hitting anyone for weakness, etc. But it does mean you can use whatever things you like in terms of accelerating energy. Speaking of energy, I see no reason why triple acceleration energy won't work. Triple Acceleration Energy says can only be attached to an evolution Pokemon, and Snorlax VMAX clearly says evolves from Snorlax V. So essentially this becomes a single energy attack. Wait, what becomes a single energy attack? G-Max Full. 60 damage. This attack does 30 more damage for each of your benched Pokemon. So if we just assume we've got a full bench, because most of the time, if we're building a Snorlax VMAX deck, we're going to have a full bench. Then you've got 5 bench Pokemon. 5 times 30 is 150, plus 60 is 210. 210 damage, not a bad amount of damage. Or is it? I mean, if you're against basic Pokemon, you're going to be alright. Something like Keldeo GX, you're fine. Keldeo GX only blocks GX and EX. V and VMAX are not EX and GX, so you'll smash Keldeo. Even if you go up to your stage 1s, things like Naganadel GX, they have 210. Assuming you've got a full bench, you'll get a fairly easy one-hit KO. Life will be good. But as we get up to tag teams, we're running into a bit of a problem. I mean, Pikachu and Zekrom comes in with 240 as one of the very weakest tag teams. You're not getting them. Your Mewtwo and Mew, your Reshiram and Charizard coming in with 270, you're definitely not getting them. You're quite a way away, unfortunately. So, yeah. It is, shall we say, not 100% entirely ideal, but I suppose, ladies and gentlemen, that you cannot win them all. Essentially, you're still doing 210 damage for a single energy attachment. That's pretty phenomenal. Though you do give up free prizes, so you've got to think partly about how much investment you're putting into the attack, but you've also got to think about the potential risk of it. Now, in terms of having bench Pokemon, Giratina's your friend here. Like, Giratina is the obvious option. Firstly, you get to put it from the discard pile onto the bench using its ability, so you can get essentially 4 of your 5 bench spots all but guaranteed, assuming none of them are prized. But when you put them back onto your bench, you get to do 1 damage to each of 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon, so that's pretty tasty. And actually, if we go into the expanded format, now in expanded, this is even more of a beast. Because in expanded, you can use Skyfield. And Skyfield actually gives you 8 bench spaces. So if you've got 8 bench spaces and you've got 8 Pokemon on those bench spaces, Execute would be a nice way to essentially guarantee all 8 along with Giratina, because you can get them straight back to your hand. Then you're all of a sudden doing 240 from the 8 bench. Add the 60 base means you're hitting 300. So the only thing that you're missing here is VMAX Pokemon like Snorlax VMAX. In expanded, this becomes absolutely ridiculous because you've just got the extra bench spaces. And in terms of energy, now I am fairly sure, this is not an official ruling, but I'm fairly sure Triple Acceleration Energy will work. Because Triple Acceleration Energy says this card can only be attached to an evolution Pokemon, and Snorlax VMAX says evolves from Snorlax V. This isn't a level X Pokemon, this is an evolution Pokemon because it evolves from Snorlax V. That is not an official ruling. We will need official confirmation, but I feel fairly confident. But even if it doesn't work, we've got Arceus and Dialga and Palkia, which can accelerate free energy. Cool. We've got Malamar that can accelerate the energy. Nice. We've got Welder that will put 2 energy on and then you use your energy for the turn and that's your free energy. You are not going to struggle to get the energy on here. And you've got ridiculous HP and you should be pretty much doing a consistent 210. Oh, I should mention in expanded, I mentioned about Skyfield. Do remember we also have Sudowoodo in expanded and we'll put you down to 4 bench spaces. So I suppose be on the lookout for Sudowoodo. It really is only a question of whether 210 is enough in standard. For a single energy attachment, it's phenomenal, make no mistake about it. 210 for 1 energy attachment is dumb good. It just might not always be enough. Now, we haven't officially seen an English version of Snorlax V, but it has gone up on the official Japanese website, and the lovely Maverick Nate has been kind enough to give us a translation. So Snorlax then, we have a basic Pokemon, and it's got 220 HP, which is gigantic, But it's not like dumb over the top good. We've seen some really big basic Pokemon. I mean, Guzzlord GX came in at 210, which was pretty gosh darn good. We saw the Wishy-Washy GX, the first one, the big Wishy-Washy GX, came in at 210. And it's been a few years since we got Wailord EX that came in at 250. Still gigantic, but not unheard of for a basic Pokemon. Remember that Pokemon V give up 2 prizes. And it's got the same weakness to fighting and the same retreat cost of 4, which is important if you're using stuff like Pokemaniac. And then for free colourless energy, you do 60 damage, and you heal from this Pokemon the same amount of damage as you did. So, as a base here, you do 60, you heal 60. If you're able to increase the amount of damage you do, you increase the amount that you're healing. Generally speaking, Snorlax V is not going to be your focus here. It really is Snorlax V Max that we're going to be largely concentrating on. That is the one that's got the biggest amount of HP and does the most damage, but it's nice there as a bonus. If you add a 4th energy on there, you do 170 damage, and then you go to sleep. I mean, 170 for 4 energy is pretty good. That ain't bad. I mean, look, it's not Reshiram and Charizard good, but it's still pretty nice. I mean, 170 will still get Keldeo, but it won't get all basic GXs. Something like Blacephalon will escape. You'll get pretty much any non-GX. So, you're getting a lot of Pokemon with 170. And again, it's 4 energy, but they're colourless. Definitely no triple acceleration, given it's a basic. Definitely. But we do have Welder and Malamar and everything else. Snorlax V is fine, but Snorlax V Max is hugely exciting. Also, right, the design of the cards. I love the design of this V Max card. It looks phenomenal. And you can already see we've been given a very high quality picture, and you can see it is textured, which is rather quite lovely. And then, of course, if we go back to Snorlax V Max, let's not forget that this is the biggest Pokemon we've ever had. So you can just leave it in the active, your opponent can't KO, and you Super Scoop up. Or heal, or do something else. I mean, if we ever get things like Max Potion back, you can just leave it in the active, take a couple hits, Max Potion. Take a couple hits, Max Potion. If you want a blocking, stalling Pokemon to take some hits and frustrate your opponent while you deck them out, this is the best Pokemon we have ever had for that. I'm giving it 4 Wassies. I think Snorlax V is fine. I think it's moderately generic. I think it's fine, but I don't think it's stunning. I think Snorlax V Max with a 340 and a hitting 210 for 1 energy is phenomenal. But I am conscious of the fact that 210 will be pretty good against GXs and non-GXs, and V. But when you get to tag teams and VMAX, you might find yourself a tiny bit short. Although the combo with Giratina is, I mean, it's irresistible, right? I love this. I love Snorlax. I'm extremely excited. This makes me very happy indeed. But I'd like to know your opinion on Snorlax V, Snorlax V Max, and just the V Max mechanic in general. So go nuts in the comment section. But please do remember the rule. Be nice, would you? And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at The Wassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where we talk about a whole bunch of games that don't even have any Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.